Hello, this is Cho of the Shiny Colors Discord, and welcome to another episode of The Shiny Review. Today we'll be talking about the latest banner featuring P-SSR4 Sakuya, SSR5 Koganei, and SSR5 Yuika. If you are a player who has been looking for vocal support, now that it's been almost 5 months since our last major vocal banner, this is a big one for you. So definitely listen in to see why this banner is one of the big godsends for vocal teams. Starting things off, we have Sakuya. Continuing the second anniversary limited train, Sakuya 4 arrives on the scene, reviving a thought-to-be-abandoned gimmick. Sakuya 4 has copied Kiriko 4's appeal style, attacking a judge and then raising their defense for a few turns. However, unlike Kiriko, Sakuya is a single-target attacker with memory gauge boosting to compensate. In conjunction with the Koganei on this banner, Sakuya 4 has effectively raised vocal Antika from the dead, creating an interesting dynamic for future Antika cards as we may see a shift towards this defense-piercing style. While it may not be the strongest setup currently, it certainly has a backbone now that a major player can piggyback off Kiriko 4's AoE attacks. She's a must-have if you already pulled for Kiriko 4, or plan on pulling on Kiriko's rerun. Her roles are center, debuffer, buffer, memory boost, and piercing damage. Sakuya's initial appeal is a vocal 3.5 that ignores the judge's interest. We'll just refer to this as a piercing attack. And it also decreases the judge's interest by 50% for 3 turns, so think of it as they are taking 50% less damage, or a 50% defense boost. This also raises your memory gauge by 15%. This then links into a piercing vocal 3.0 appeal. At max, this becomes a piercing 5.0 vocal appeal, reduces the judge's interest by 50% for 3 turns, and increases your memory gauge by 25%, and links into the same piercing 3.0 appeal. Her 1-star passive is a vocal 50% buff as long as your team includes Sakuya, 30% chance to activate 3 times. Her 2-star passive is a vocal 75% up as long as it's turn 4 or later, 30% chance to activate 3 times. Her uncaps at 3-star are a vocal 150 and a mental 100, and her memory appeal when maxed out is a vocal 100% buff for 2 turns, which links into a piercing vocal 3.5 appeal. For recommended supports, you already know the core 3, but I think we're getting pretty close to not being required to have these 3, as some of our new supports are pretty strong. The newest Koganei support is an incredible option for Sakuya 4, and you can pair this off with the vocal Kiriko support for extra synergy. Much like the usual, grab your strongest vocal supports and build up her main stat as much as you can. Do be careful if you're taking too many defense-lowering debuffs. You may not want to accidentally explode on turn 3 or turn 4, so just bear that in mind. But of course we have cards like the newest Koganei, the permanent Kiriko, the limited Kaho, permanent Amana, limited Fuyuko, and we have some permanent support SSRs like Rinzei, Natsuha, and the event Yuika as well. For recommended teammates, depending on preference, you can swap Kiriko 4 and Sakuya 4 as center. Koganei 4 offers a 150% vocal buff on Link Appeal, which is hard to pass up. Yuika has very little vocal options, so you do what you can, and Mamimi has one fine option with Mamimi 1, and the riskier option with Mamimi 3. Maybe next Yuika is going to be a vocal card, just to make up for this small weakness. So we have Koganei 4, Kiriko 4, Sakuya 4, Yuika 2, and Mamimi 1 as the primaries, or you can choose Koganei 3, Kiriko 3, or Mamimi 3. Overall, Sakuya gets somewhere between an A+ and an S+ as a center. Much like how I felt about Kiriko, but with maybe a more realistic score. In the right circumstances, this memory appeal is hard to contest, especially when you consider the 100% vocal buff. But you might find it hard to make this appeal as threatening as possible. It's definitely great for the current Gradefest gimmick, but we'll have to see how it pans out after this season is over. As a unit, very easy SS-. Memory gauge boosting is the name of the meta currently, so having access to large bonuses is very appreciated, especially for Antika. She has strong passives with easy activation requirements and generous chances, very good base damage to her appeals, and the standard limited uncap setup. She's very strong for the right team. Next we have Koganei. This Koganei has revived vocal as an attribute for everyone that isn't Alstroemeria. Boasting the strongest vocal buff currently for a support, Koganei is here to dispense all the SP to everyone that she can. She's incredibly good on Antika, and amazing on every other team. While Alstroemeria might not be able to use her perfectly, we might get to see the revival of teams like Vocal Hokago and Vocal Antika, especially with the advent of this card. She has 7 masteries to work with, including Idol's Bond, Promise Recovery and Rest Boost, But her most important masteries are Vocal Mastery SP, which reaches plus 12 at level 65, Unit Mastery SP, which reaches plus 6 at level 70, and then Vocal Mastery Stamina and Radio Mastery Stamina, which reach level 3 at 75. Her TFD idea is Appeal. Koganei's 1-star passive is a Vocal 40% buff as long as it's turn 4 or later, with a 20% chance to activate twice. Her 2-star gold passive is a Vocal 100% buff as well as Attention 20% down as long as your mental is 49% or lower. This has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 3-star uncap is a Vocal 100, and her 4-star appeal is a Vocal 4.0 that reduces your own mental by 30%. Her support appeal scales, which starts at a 3.0 until you hit level 60, in which then it goes up by 0.1 per level, capping out at a 3.5 at level 80. Koganei gets a very easy double S+. Antika and Vocal have received another source of SP mastery, and this Koganei doesn't disappoint. The 100% Vocal passive is impossible to ignore, so you'll most likely be seeing this card everywhere on Vocal teams that aren't Alstroemeria. Double Room Stamina is incredible, as we know already from Train Station Mono, and it's clear they're really trying to push us away from said Mono. She's a must-have for pretty much every Vocal team currently. Lastly, we have the Event SSR, Yuika. Yuika is probably one of the most intriguing Event SSRs we've gotten in a while. She comes equipped with a somewhat useful Radio Mastery Vocal skill, but is coupled with Radio Mastery Stamina. While it won't make the room cost nothing, it helps lift the burden, and we could see this used in teams looking for a high combination of mental and vocal. It is worth noting that you can pair this off with the Koganei we just talked about, who also has Radio Mastery Stamina, in order to further reduce the amount of stamina it takes to be in the room. Her 4-star appeal will help Vocal Collabofest a ton, and her gold passive is much stronger than the usual event card. She's definitely one of the best event supports we've gotten in a very long time. Her masteries are Idol's Bond, Promise Recovery, and Rest Boost, but she also has access to Radio Mastery Vocal, which reaches plus 10 at 75, and Radio Mastery Stamina, which reaches plus 3 at 80. And her TFD idea is Vocal. Yuika's 1-star passive is a Vocal 18% up if you are in the Vocal position, has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 2-star gold passive is a Vocal 33% up as long as the star count is 3 or lower, has a 33% chance to activate once. Her 3-star uncap is a Vocal plus 50, and her 4-star appeal is a Vocal 3.0 that increases the judge's interest by 33% for 2 turns. She gets somewhere between an A+ and an S, and maybe even gets an S+ depending on how you feel about it. She has an easy-to-use turn 1 gold passive, a frankly strong set of support skills for a freebie unit, which makes this Yuika a top billing support for those just starting. She certainly has use for Vocal teams, and her interest up appeal may see play in Grade Fest, but will definitely see the light of day in Collabofest. Get this card while you have the time. And that's going to do it for the video today. Thank you so much as always for watching. If there's anything you'd like us to talk about, feel free to let us know in the comments, and make sure to like the video and share it around if you like what we're doing here. Next time we'll be talking about whatever banner comes next, or if we have some spare time, we'll see if we can delve into some of the other game modes of Shiny to help you out in ways that we can. So, till next time, I've been Cho, thanks for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.